And welcome back. Okay, yeah, it's been a long time. So you guys, basically, I had to take care of a lot of stuff in real life, getting classes all arranged up for next semester. And, yeah, after that, it was spring break and all the kids were on holiday, so that would have been really bad timing to record. Anyhow, I'm back. Thank you for waiting. And for those of you who are freshly joining us and have watched through the series, thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So, we raised up the walls a bit in between episodes. And yeah, I know that you're going to say that the video looks different. That's because tax returns came in, I got myself a new monitor, which means that a lot of these settings have changed quite significantly. So let's just hit the ground running with this. Cathedral windows, you never want the same type of window. Vary it up. Don't just pick one setting and go with it. If possible, use some colored stained glass. And then just make yourself a story. It's not going to be that difficult. However, we are running out of stone. So what I'm planning on doing... Oh, and not all the stained glass is finished. Some of it is missing red stained glass, for which I need more hematite for. I don't have enough of the blood ore with me to get all the glass I need. Anyhow, decided I was not going to make this into a cathedral. I'll just make it a small church. Later on, after the build itself is finished, I'll, on my own time and my own pace, come back and build like a cathedral, a proper one. And that will look a lot more impressive than this. But for right now, let's just go ahead with this. However, we need a lot more stone. And what we are going to do for that is we are going to dig out some catacombs underneath of this. And that will serve as a way for us to get that stone. So we're going to bring it down to about the same level as this. We're going to extend it out. I'm thinking roughly about to 5 out from here. So we're going to have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that will be all grass that I lay on top of some of these bricks that I lay down. And then the bricks will come on down, and then I can just dig out all the sand and dirt and gravel, and then we will get to some rock, and then that will give us a new quarry. It was a dilemma that we had on the last episode of we need a quarry, but where do we put it? Well, why not put it underneath the church? Turn it into some catacombs. So we have the same thing going on over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that will be that. Same thing over here. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and put the opening for it, like in the back. Possibly in this back corner over here. And then that will lead on down. What we could also do is we could put the parish right next to it, which would allow us to have kind of a caretaker right next to the entrance of the catacombs. Now, I'm not planning on lighting it up, so it's literally going to be a spawn hazard, but I don't know, I think I kind of like that idea better than lighting it up. And I will definitely come back and show you more details. But I think for the time being, I probably just want to clear out a bit of this, even it out, and get ready for the next step. So, in my viewpoint, I'll see you in a few days. In your viewpoint, I'll see you in a few seconds. Okay, and we are back. Basically what we've done here is we've started excavating underneath. No, actually we got the wrong thing there. We've started excavating underneath. We've cleared out some areas on top. We're starting to build a platform over here so that you can kind of, you know, start to see the perimeter. I do need to, after I start developing the layers of the catacombs better, dig out a spot for the entrance here and the parish. Otherwise, what we have here is we have bricks on the outside and smooth stone on the inside. Now, we are going to have bricks coming on down on the inside for part of it, but it won't be for all of it. The top 2 layers are going to be 3 tall, more for the more wealthy who can really afford that space. Underneath of here we have a lot of the art from the cathedral that's pretty visible, which really it adds to the extra decoration of the catacombs on the first floor, which is going to be really nice. There's this natural stone that just kind of goes around the hill. I've been smoothing that out and removing certain layers. I've been keeping the natural stone, like this is limestone, so it's getting replaced with limestone. And this is phyllite, so it's getting replaced with phyllite. There were a few different rocks that were naturally occurring, and where we're going to have the floor, there's no point removing those, so just smooth them on and move on. And then the next layer down there is going to be the bottom of the second layer. So here's the top layer of the catacombs, or should I say sub 1. Here's sub 2. That's going to be the last of the higher class catacomb layers. For right now I have this central access. It's not very fancy, not very nice, but whatever. Once again, the hillside just kind of had its own rock layer. And you can kind of see that. See if I can manage to get down here without hurting myself. Random rock that was in the formation. And then about here, I started to hit the actual rock layer, which is awesome, because I really needed the stone. Not only to do the roof up here, but also to fill in the gaps here, which were otherwise filled in with gravel. So it's going to be a bit of a nuisance until we get down to solid rock for the floor, and then it's going to be pure profit. So that's that, and as you can see, it's there's some green wood. That's just so I could get on over here and put some dirt down. Because, yeah, this is rather resource intensive on the, I guess, opposite side of the spectrum. Where you would usually think of it as being resource intensive, this is more resource... It's storage intensive, I guess would be a great way to say that. This is supposed to be for stone, and I'm using it for freaking flint and dirt. Just because I ran out of storage. And I didn't know what else to bloody well do with it, so yeah. Sand is full. Gravel is full. And we still have a massive amount. So I'm thinking what we're going to do after we start getting the actual floors of the catacombs done in here is we're going to start using some of that stone to build ourselves a wall. And replace this wooden wall, the wooden palisades over here, with more of a stone one. It's going to let us get rid of a lot of that debris. You'll see more about what I'm talking about with that when we get into the construction of it, but it's pretty debris intensive. For every stone that you use, you're going to use a piece of debris at, yeah, just about a 1-to-1 ratio. The only exception is the capstone. We're not actually going to be using a capstone on it. We're going to be putting in a walkway, wooden walkway at the very top. Just because let's face it, stone's really hard to come by. And, yeah. I like using it for things that actually warrant it. Though I am very pleased at how this turned out. Just the fact that you can see it from the underside, it's just amazing. At least I think so. I do need to get some more bricks. So after I get some of these smooth things done, I just need to smash some rocks, finish it up, get the perimeter all adjusted. I am bringing these down a little bit, just kind of to join up with it and give it more of a coherent look to it. As you can see, here's your bricks and then here's your stone. I think it transitions rather nice. Even over here where, well, actually, let's see if I can get a good position for you guys. Yeah, these edges actually work for good scaffolds as well. Here we go, over here. Even over here, where you have the transitions, I still think it looks rather nice, because it gives a definite definition to where the underbody of the church is, in contrast to the stone itself that you're carving into. And as I've said before, the catacombs will not have much in the way of lighting. I think I actually said that it wasn't going to have any. I might go ahead and recant that, but that's only going to be on sub 1 and possibly sub 2. After those first two more upper class layers, I'm going to do 5 layers of 2 tall catacombs. So 1, 2, it's going to be very, very cramped. And I'm going to make those a lot more Spartan for commoners. And then after I do about 5 layers of that, I'm going to just open it flat out and quarry straight down. Because let's face it, there's only so many levels of catacombs you can need. And this is going to really give whoever ventures down into the catacombs a good idea of what's going on. And they'll probably turn back before they ever get down to the quarry. Which is kind of what we're looking for. We're looking at something interesting to distract people from the functional look of a giant pit. Unless if you particularly like looking at Gehenna. Which, for those of you who aren't Hebrew scholars, is a big pit where people throw their trash and burn it. So yeah, I'm going to keep working on this. Crops are coming in quite well. Since the, I want to say last episode, not the beginning of this episode, but last episode, it has been about a year in game since you guys last saw me. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of work. And I will see you guys in a few minutes. In your perspective, a few days in mine. Talk to you soon. And welcome back. Okay, so I've gotten a little bit of work done, but, yeah. I really need to go ahead and start finishing up this episode and working on another part to this because it's become painfully obvious it's going to be a 3-parter, not a 2-parter, just because the catacombs. So, we need to come over here and pick a wood for the roof and a wood for the support beams. Now, we've used a few different colors of wood so far for roofs, and I kind of want something different, just to kind of to break it up, to give a nice look to it. And I do not think we've gone with white elm as a roof before. We've used it for other things, but I don't think we've used it as a roof. And then we need to pick a beam that kind of matches that, or at least complements it. The sequoia would look nice with that. They're both kind of a pastel color, but there's a bit of a contrast there too. Though we could get away with the spruce. The maple's too bold. We could use the sycamore. Let's do that. Let's use white elm and sycamore. So let's take a look real quick and see if we got it. If not, we need to plant it. We got white elm and sycamore. Saplings, at least, which is great. What is this? So we got maple, that's oak, that's sequoia, that's hickory. What is this? That's sycamore, okay. It was what? White elm and sycamore, right? I think so. Yeah, it was. Okay, cool. So we'll grab a few stacks of that and get it working on it. Now we will be chiseling these down, so we do need to bring it in a chisel. But that's not a problem since we already have it. We'll take as much white elm as we can carry because that's the majority of what we're going to be working with. Let me take a look and show you what the catacombs look like so far. They're nowhere near done. But I do have a few pieces of stone I need to get out of my inventory either way. So it would be a great thing to do. I punched some holes in the corners though. Just to allow some light down there while I'm working. So we need to get rid of the limestone we have. Which should not take long since we did not get much limestone. And the phyllites, we are done with the first layer with that, so we're going to have to go inside for... Pardon me for a second. Inside for a second so that we can use it up. I know it's a little dark in here, so my apologies, but I at least had enough foresight to punch a few holes so you can see kind of what's going on here. Once again, everywhere that it says phyllites, we want to keep it phylite. And everywhere it says a different type of stone, we want to keep it as that type of stone. It's just going to go ahead and enhance the natural complexity of it. Let's not add complexity where complexity is not needed. But let's not take away complexity where complexity is natural. So once again, over here we have like limestone, because it's naturally there. We have phyllite here, because it's naturally there. And I know you can't see it, because we don't have much of this rock. For whatever reason, I'm not really getting much. I'm just getting it out of the side over here. So I don't have a complexity with the floor I can show you. It's just, it's there. And I've been using this small little section here, just kind of to get down here, which is kind of nice. So right now we have B1 and B2, and we're working on B3 right now. As far as the platform size for B1 and B2, yeah, we kind of need this rock here for that. And we're not making bricks out of those, so... Usually I chisel these instead of just breaking them raw. But I really want the bricks right now, so I'm not gonna care. We're just gonna grab a little bit of this. We're not gonna do much with this. This will just let us do a little bit more of the edging, so you can see kind of what's going on. And in addition to that, so you can kind of see the process that I do to clear this out. But in a little bit of a faster method, because usually I go ahead and chisel these before I remove them. Gone through about 3 shovels, by the way, so it's quite extensive workload-wise. No bother, I got a gem. Oh, if you guys are unfamiliar with Mind Tweaks, it's a very nice add-on. What it kind of lets me do is insert my own recipes, and I've tried to keep the recipes pretty non-cheaty. But there are obviously a few different things I use it for. Take, for instance, I have no purpose in-game for jade, but I do have purpose in-game for chip jade. So what I do is I let the quality of the gem determine how many I get. But then I can basically break it on down, which is really, really nice. And those are all going to become bricks. While I'm at it, let's go ahead and lay that down. Clear it out of my inventory a little bit. I really need to go looking for some hematite to finish up these windows. I mean, yeah, I could write in a recipe that would give me another way to make red dye, but I kind of like the way that they have it set up. Even if it is a nuisance. You know, while we're here, what we're going to do, and sorry about all the shaking on that, was adjusting where my mouse pad was. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to break these into planks. And yes, I am aware that some of the add-ons that I have allow me to make different varieties. And that's all well and good. I love it, but the other varieties don't chisel. So it's a mixed bag. I mean, I love them to death. It's a great addition to it, but at the same time, it's like, really? You couldn't just add in a little bit more code? we're just going to use this to get over there. One of the things I really want to do is get the, get this part taken care of. And I know it's going to be getting dark, so I apologize. I just figured that some of this stuff you guys actually wanted to see. Especially on the more detailed parts. I know you guys really don't need to be seeing anybody dig a hole. But the nuances on the shape that the hole's taking might be interesting, and doing things like complicated roofs and figuring out what you're going to do might be interesting. Now what we're going to do here is we're actually going to leave that empty. Because I'm going to be putting together a tower and putting it in the middle. Which means we actually don't need these corner blocks. So let's see, how do we want to do this? I guess we could bring it in this way and then bring that in. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. Though you'll have to understand that it's not going to look halfway as good as when I've chiseled it, but that's just gotta be expected there. Okay, let's fill those in. Let's go ahead and get these. And that's going to leave us with a pretty decently big hole there. So let's go ahead and shore this up. Make sure it's coming in 3. That one's only 2, so let's throw one more. And then let's cap it. And that should give a kind of sloped look on the inside. And now for the part that actually is going to make this look pretty decent. I didn't say good, I said decent. So for all you building perfectionists, get off my ass. It's not worth being there anyway. And we're just going to basically smooth this a little bit. I don't really care if the top of the church is spawnable or not. We're just doing this for looks. Okay, and that's gonna leave those to be done. How's it gonna look over here? Well, I guess for that we really need to go inside and figure that out. Though what I might just do is I might just go ahead and slope it this way. How's that looking? Is that too much? You know, that's a little bit flat. Let's give this a curve, because we kind of want this to have a dome effect. Yeah, that looks good enough. So let's do the same thing over here. Did we go all the way? We did not. We butted right up to it. Yeah, that looks good enough for my taste. So let's go inside and see how that looks. Later we'll be coming back over here and sloping these on up. But I think the episode's running pretty late, so after I find a safe way down, which might be easier said than done. In fact, let me make a safe way down. There we go. Okay. And now we can just hop on the wall and hop on in. Well, it doesn't look bad at night, but let's actually get a proper look at it. And just as I say that, the sun will rise up anyway, so. Okay, so let's take a look, and then we will continue this on the next episode, where hopefully the catacombs will have a little bit more dug out, and yeah, that looks kind of nice. Obviously I'm gonna have to slope it on the inside, but we'll go over the complexities of that on the next episode. Because I do want some support beams. And those support beams are going to play into what blocks I smooth and which ones I don't. But all in all, I do like that. It's going to butt up nicely with this tower. And then what I'll do is I might just go ahead and cap it right there, along with the original cap. So until next time, I will talk to you later.